So I've got good news and I've got bad news. The bad news is that a very old man is about to take his last gasping breath. Wait, what? No, not me, not this old man. You know the old man and the baby thing they do at New Year's? Auld Lang Syne, out with the old, in with the new? That old man. Hi, I'm Rick. Welcome back to The Journey. It has been one seriously wild ride of a year. Hell, I don't even remember half of what happened in 2023. In my mind, it's still, I don't know, June or something? Only it's not mid-June, and it's freezing cold here in California. So let's go back in the bus and finish this. Let's start the journey all over again. 2023 started with pain. A lot of pain. We were finishing the build on this school bus, and I was really struggling with figuring out what kind of stories I could tell you. So I decided to do something really silly. I decided to eat the world's hottest chip, and I seriously paid the price. We're here to talk about chips. Let's have sort of an inspection of what is on the back of this fine product. Warning, big red warning. Do not eat if you are sensitive to spicy foods, allergic reaction to peppers. If you're pregnant, you can't deal capsaicin. If they got all this stuff on here, there might be a reason. Smells. I'm actually starting to drool right now and I haven't even put it in my mouth. I don't really have anything to drink in here. We're working on the bus. There's no real... Anyway, I'm stalling. Let's... Don't touch eyes. Very powdery. This may have been a mistake. No. I got the hiccups. No, that's soy sauce, not gonna help. Water. So after recovering, and you honestly don't want to know what happened to me the next day, we worked our butts off to get this bus ready, to get back on the road, to start the adventure. And all of this continued right up until the point where I taught you how to poop in a bucket. And then the subject of toilets came up. In a school bus, there is no magic tank to hold your stuff that comes out of you. No, it's more like an outhouse on wheels, only we use sawdust, and I really need to explain that to you. Now, we actually had choices in this department. Nikki wanted to go the composting route. Now, most people who convert one of these things, they buy one of these things. It's called a nature head. You see the price tag? That's a whole lot of money just to pay to turn your poop into plant food. So that's when we decided to build one of our own. As far as your poo, let's demonstrate. Now, those of you of a certain age, you're going to get this reference to the movie that, well, involves a swimming pool and a golf resort. Okay, a little hands-on demonstration. Basically, what you do is you take your poo and you drop it into the bucket. The bucket contains sawdust all over the place. You take handfuls of sawdust and you cover your poo. And that's really kind of all there is to it. Well, there is actually a fan that you turn on in case, you know. So the bus build, she was finally done, and we were heading straight up north through Florida, and we were going to turn west towards California. And that's where we learned our very first lesson. Don't judge. I am a city-dwelling, warm weather-loving, I only eat at non-chain restaurants, preferably ethnic food, kind of guy. There are things I hate, like cold weather, like rural, like everything you see behind me, which is kind of the whole point of today's video.
You were such a good pup. Yes, I know. You were such a good
Okay, here's what's really fun. Picture yourself in a movie, or actually here, just sitting on this porch next to this dirt road, horse riders going by, and you're going, hey, Lim, how the cattle doing? It's a whole different way of life. And I actually feel like I'm living in a movie, only I'm not. The property is owned by a man named Larry Cook. It's been in his family for generations. And what they did was they decided to take all of the lumber that they could find all around the property and build new, better cabins with old material. And when I first looked at them, I thought, yeah, okay, I'm not sure I want to go in there because they don't look too safe. But once I opened this door, oh my God, I want to live here. Now, a man named Larry was the owner of that property where we stayed, and when we first met him, we had some serious doubts. This old white guy showed up in a MAGA hat, and we thought, oh Lord, here we go. But he turned out to be the nicest, sweetest human being we have ever met. He even cooked for us. He walked into the bus and saw we were using a crock pot and said, you know, that ain't no way to cook. And he went back and came, I don't know, 30 minutes later with a big plate of fried fish, fried hush. It was just so damn yummy. He didn't know us. He just decided that he was going to share his food. He was going to share his life. I feel really bad because I saw something and it wasn't what was actually true. And so west we continued. We even managed to get through the grand state of Texas in under 14 years. Damn, that state is wide. Now my birthday was coming up and I wanted to do something very special with it. I wanted to spend it with some aliens.
Not a very tall species, these. They're also not anatomically correct. So what do you think? Are aliens real?
Yes, they are.
And whenever you guys are late, you just go in.
Okay, I think I officially found my cheesy quiche, whatever the word is. Hi, how are you? Okay, I have to be careful. Nikki surprised the crap out of me in the other room. I gotta go find her.
Now, at this point, we were having a lot of issues with the bus. Overheating primarily. Out east, didn't have much of a problem at all. Out west, with all the mountains, the Huckleberry was struggling. We had to get this thing to a truck repair shop. The problem being where we were, there were no truck repair shops. And thus began the odyssey. Can we actually make it there in time?
Yeah, hi, is this Frontera Radiator? Yeah, hi, we're parked in front of where you're supposed to be, but...
So you're probably wondering why I'm suddenly in a swimming pool when mere seconds ago I was calling Radiator Shops and about to cry my eyes out. I'm still a little stressed from that. Give me just a minute to unwind and then I'll tell you what's happened thus far and the plans for the next few days. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned it this far in this video because it's been one of those days, but our bus is overheating. Now, it's done this for a long time. It did this when we were building it back in Richmond. And the short version is we tried to climb a couple small mountains, 7,800 feet, which is small for out here, and the bus couldn't make it. And we had to stop multiple times just to get up to the top. The engine was so seriously overheating, I was worried about whether we're going to have to replace the engine or not. How you doing? I called last week. We have a school bus that's overheating and you all said to bring it into you. Replace the radiator. What they said was there was clogs in it. And the top and the bottom were basically, well, they weren't flowing the same rate. So they say it's fixed. Tomorrow we find out. You want to know how much it cost? So I need to put this into a little bit of perspective before I read you the number. Bear in mind that when we bought this bus, we paid $7,000 for it. $7,000 for a running, functional, completely working bus. Now, before we said no to replacing the airbags in the back, the price they wanted was basically the same. To repair 3 things, they wanted the same price as we paid for the entire bus. And now that the Huckleberry was fixed, and yes, we were crossing our fingers, it was time to continue the adventure. Now, I had never really been out in the great Southwest America before, and I was mesmerized. But there was one place that we absolutely had to go to. A place that, well, we named the Huckleberry after. We had to get to Tombstone.
Yeah, I may have made a bad hat choice. This thing is a little floppy. I think I know why he was on the discount table.
Well, the bad man got a free ride up to Boot Hill.
So Wyatt is basically this cowboy, this stoic guy around town who just wants the same thing that every other stoic cowboy around town wants. He wants money, he wants a ranch, he wants a family, he wants the American dream. And then he met Josephine.
Are you happy?
Am I happy? Well, I don't know. Happy as the next man, I guess.
Somebody who was the polar opposite of what he was. All of a sudden, he saw something that he never quite considered before. Everything changed after that. So to wrap up the story of Wyatt, and yeah, I highly recommend you go watch the movie because it'll fill in all the blanks, but we're going to skip to the end right now. So what old Wyatt discovered was that, well, there was a world out there that completely suited him that he had never given any possibility to, never even allowed himself to consider or think about. But once he got a hold of it, once he got a hold of Josephine and he ventured into that wonderful world, he discovered who he really was.
I have nothing left. Nothing to give you. I promise I'll love you the rest of your life.
And he lived out the rest of his life exactly the way he always wanted to be, the way he needed to be, and the way he needed to be that he just didn't know. Now, does that sound a lot like modern times for a lot of us? I know it sounds like me. You know, we're following the rat race, we're following the let's buy a bigger house. You know the mantra that I've been preaching for a long time. Well, I'm no longer living the life. I'm no longer living the stoic cowboy life of what everyone expects of me, and I got to tell you, Wyatt was right.
Now, at this point, we had to, well, pause the adventure a little bit. My daughter was giving birth to her second baby, and so we hopped on a plane and we flew back east for the birth of this grand little screaming child. But before we could do that, we didn't want to make her life so much more hectic than it already was. We needed our own car so we could get around, so we could do the things that we needed to do. And that required first flying to Miami and somehow getting our car up to Virginia, our piece of crap car that we were pretty sure wasn't going to make it.
My daughter is giving birth in exactly 2 days. She is 1,000 miles away from where I am right now, and I might have just lost my one and only chance of getting up there in time. Enter Amtrak. Yes, America, we have a train system right here in the United States. I mean, who knew? Trains here. I mean, isn't that just kind of European? We discovered that one of those trains actually goes from Florida all the way up to Virginia, just happens to be the path that we wanted to take. And also that same train allows you to put your car on the same train that you're riding. Honestly, cars on a train. I wouldn't kid you. 5245, that's us. Really hate the number 45. I don't know why they gave it to us. I don't know why I hate it so much. Anybody have any idea? Leave it in the comments. Do you need a hand? Yeah. Alright. We're supposed to be in C. Oh yeah, this is nicer. I like this better. Oh, we got our own bathroom and everything. We don't have to share that with people, do we?
Share with me.
This is the medium-sized room, and apparently we have our own sig. We have a very handsome lad in the mirror. This, I guess, turns into another bed. This is the upper bed. We have our own toilet, which is really nice. Oh, it got a shower too. It has a shower. Oh, this isn't bad at all. Hi.
Hi.
What'd you find out there?
There's something with a lot of voltage in the back that I'm not going near.
Oh, cool. Let's go touch that. And now comes the hard part. After several weeks, things had started to build up. We had been in a bus together for a long time. We had been stuck together in a house with COVID for a long time, and our relationship was suffering. Putting two people in such a tiny space for such a long time, it became too much, and Nikki and I decided to separate. Going to be very sad. There are things that I need to share with you. There are things that I'm embarrassed to share with you, but we need to get it out. I also need to be very, very careful and very, very respectful, because the news that I'm about to share with you, it involves other people who are not here to share their side of the story. So I'm going to do my best. For as long as I've been on this channel, I have been with my partner, Nikki. We have traveled around the world. We have done lots of things. You've seen her on the videos, and I've mentioned her quite often. And for the past almost 8 years, we have had a wonderful life. The countries we have gone to, building out this school bus that I'm living in right now. The two of us have had quite an unusual and enjoyable life. But no good deed goes unpunished. And that's where the sad part of the story comes in. Nikki and I are no longer together. As far as what that means, I'm going to save it for a little bit later in the video because honestly, I'm still trying to process it. I went back to where we had stored the bus in Sacramento, California, and I decided to drive my way back east, back to see my daughter and the grandkids again, and to use that time to think, to ponder, to understand what I wanted out of life and where I was going, and if it was even possible for me to get there. And while some aspects of that journey were nice, some were decidedly not. Son of a... I just hit a bird. I mean a serious damn bird. I think it's like a hawk or something. This isn't good. This isn't good at all. Oh man, I don't want to make this all gory, but he's still alive. His eyes are blinking and I don't know how to get him off the mirror quite yet. I don't know what to do. He might actually just be stunned. I've got him over here in the woods. He's looking around. It could have gone seriously wrong. Nah, I didn't like that. I did not like that one bit. But there were moments that were sheer wonder. I was growing and I was changing. Believe this. As you travel down through Utah and Arizona, the landscape completely changes until suddenly I actually had no idea I was coming through Monument Valley. This is a place I've been wanting to come to for decades. I wanted to ride my motorcycle through here. I'm heading 20 miles farther past this to a different location tonight. I had no idea. All of a sudden I saw the signs and I saw the thumb and like, I'm here. You gotta love serendipity. Isn't this beautiful? So let's talk about today. When I left that side of Utah to get to this side of Utah this morning, I knew I was going to have a long ass drive ahead of me. And I did. It took a little over 6 hours to get here. But you know, honestly, I didn't really notice it that much because everything kept changing. About every 30 minutes, the entire landscape would change. Out there, it was soaring buttes and mesas, all kinds of colors on the side. And then there was, well, it was kind of nothing for a while. Lake Powell and more mountains and more water. And now this, red rocks everywhere, including old Mexican, what's it called? Mexican hat rock. I didn't even know this existed up until a couple of days ago, which kind of brings us to the problem. The why, the woe is me, the oh, melancholy Rick that you've come to know and love so well. He was doing a lot of thinking on the bus ride out here. I need to have a reason for being somewhere, and I haven't been doing that. But the bigger thing is, I got to figure out what's inside this little noggin and to start living life with a purpose. And I'm not going to answer it right now. Maybe I'll have an answer by the end of this video. Don't know, but for now, I'm just going to enjoy the desert cooling down. I'm going to enjoy my vodka tonic and this stogie, and we will see you in the morning. Now, during this time, Nikki and I had started talking again, started communicating. She had gone off to Spain to hike the Camino, to find her own path, to find her own answers. And we decided we wanted to come together to discuss things, to find out where we wanted to go, but we needed a place that was neutral, that wasn't distracting. Specifically, we went down to the Yucatan, to Merida, Holbox, and Progreso Beach, a place that we loved, and a place that we were hoping was going to heal us. I am Rick Higgins, and I am sitting here in Merida, Mexico, down in the Yucatan, the very bottom part of Mexico. And why am I here? Well, because I made a video a year and a half ago about this place, and I was... So what was my specific sin? Well, if I had to put it into Christian terms, it would be pride. I decided to come up with this super clever video idea where I would start off, oh, I hate this place, I'm an American and I'm grumpy, and eventually turn into, oh my God, I think I want to be Mexican, I love this place, which is exactly what really happened. But what turned out in the video was just all grumpy. You never got to see the happy. I'm happy. That's why I'm back here. Lote, por favor, pequeña. Ice cream in the Yucatan is not like Baskin-Robbins, 4,114 flavors. They do have a lot of ones, but most of it has to do with, like, I'm looking at different fruits, some fruits that you've never heard of. Now, I got something called elote. It is my absolute favorite, and when it comes here, you're not going to believe. Elote is Spanish for roasted corn, and basically, this is corn-flavored ice cream. And yes, the little chunks, I hope it focuses on that, they're corn. Corn inside of corn-flavored ice cream. It's really sweet. It's really, don't you make fun of what I'm eating. Corn flavored ice cream is where it's at. Get your butt down here and get some of that thing. One of the bigger problems you're going to have walking through here is there are so many low spots, and low spots mean flooded water, which means you got to find a high ground that's not too muddy. So while you were here in Holbox, you can come visit the puppies. It's a humane society. You can come out here, you can walk the dogs, you can bring them home. In fact, you want to help support them, you could even give them a little PayPal. But yeah, you can come adopt a dog for a couple hours, walk them around the streets, or just come out and play with them. I highly recommend. These guys are fun. What do you think? Say hello. So you're gonna take him home?
His name is Holbox.
His name is Chillbox?
No, Holbox.
Holbox. That's original.
This is my dog.
Which brings us to the last few weeks of 2023. We have been traveling west again from east to California to be with family for the holidays. And yep, we are back together. We are learning how to communicate with each other, and we are again on the adventure of a lifetime. Now, I'm guessing that for many of you, stories of 2023 are pretty much the same as mine. Successes, failure, adventures everywhere. And the next logical question for all of us is, what in the hell is 2024 gonna bring us? Now, as far as us, I have no freaking idea. The only thing I do know is that 2024 is going to start in California where 2023 ended. But we do have a lot of things planned. Have you ever heard of Schoolypalooza, where 500 of these kind of school buses are all gathered in one place? You can kind of imagine what happens there. Well, we're going. And of course, we're going to continue nomadic bus life. Well, except for when we're doing other lives and other adventures. 2024 is absolutely going to be a crazy time. And as far as you, I want to thank you deeply for supporting the channel, for supporting what we're doing here. I wish you and yours the absolute best in 2024, and I hope you find your own happiness, and I hope you find your own journey. With that, be healthy, be happy, and thanks for watching.